It's just me, Scottie McClue. Again, a random pop-up, and of course a little bit late on in the evening, but welcome. Lovely to have with us. And we are, of course, broadcasting live from the UK to every single one of you. And I hope you're having a good day. I wanted to catch up with you and to see what was what. During lockdown, we popped up for a short interlude last night, and I thought I'll just do the same tonight, see who's out there and say hi, because sometimes it's quite good just to have somebody to finish the day up with a wee bit of the chit-chat. And I always say welcome. Now, I could have sent out a lot of notifications to you, but I thought, no, I'll just do a random pop-up and see who's about. Hello, Scottie, how are you? Kareem. Lovely to have you with us, and I hope you are well and that you slept well last night. I'm sorry it's a little bit late, but you know what it's like. There's so much to do at the moment, and everything needs a wee bit of attention. And I thought, my goodness me, is that the time I shall have to pop up and speak to the nation, or speak to all nations, and see what is what? You'll also see from the title, I did ask the question tonight, do you believe that the Queen was chosen by God? It's an interesting one, that. And I would like to have your opinion on it there, Susan Shaw. Hi, Scottie, how are you? Hi, Susan. Just a wee random pop-up to say hello to the troops, you know how it goes. And a few minutes of our time at the end of the day just to have a wee chit-chat. Never a bad thing at all. I say always good to pop up, and good to hear from you guys. Excellent stuff, and know that you're about. Wonderful. I know you'll be getting ready to go off to Bobo's, but I've got a cup of Earl Grey to drink, so I thought, while I'm doing that, I may as well have a chit-chat with the good burgers. Absolutely, and that's what we shall do. Ooh. And I'll do a little bit of sharing, of course. A very, very exciting day yesterday, I have to say. Very exciting. The inauguration of the 46th president, 46th POTUS of the United States of America. My goodness me. There's no end of excitement going on at the moment. And the news, of course, is very, very depressing. So ration yourself with news. By all means, catch up with what's going on, but don't fix yourself to whole long news programs on television. Really not the best thing for people at this time. So there you are. So that's what we're saying there. And I shall pop up and just let everybody know what's happening on the Facebook as well. Hi, Scottie. There's the wonderful Nicola. Dinky-Doo, Nicola. Nice to have you with us. I can have a wee chit-chat. I'm not sure, to be honest, about the Queen and God. Everything happens for a reason, good and bad. We reflect more on the bad and ignore the good. You know, Kareem, you are such a man of wisdom. And I get the impression that not enough people have told you that. So Scottie McClue is telling you that. And if Scottie McClue is telling you, then it will be right. There we go. We stick to the facts on here. Elliot says, I don't believe in God, so she cannot be. Elliot, tell us, what exactly is it you don't believe in? So there we are. If you don't believe in something, there must be something you don't believe in. Good evening, Sir Scottie. I prefer our Constitution, a monarch, pomp and pageantry. America is just a flag. I know. Now, America could have had Bonnie Prince Charlie as their monarch. They invited him. So I think there's a wee secret wish for America to be a monarchy. But obviously, they've got the president at the moment. So maybe I'll wait till the call comes. King of America. But no, I mean, every country in the world would love to have our monarchy, you know, particularly our monarchy, because it's very, very special. You see, the Union of the Crowns in 1603, marvellous, marvellous stuff. And be very wary of anti-monarchists, because they are a problem. I believe in science, Scottie. Evidence beats faith every time. Yes, but can you make a leap of evidence, or are you tied just by what is evidential? Whereas you can make a leap of faith. You can cross the divide if you make a leap of faith, but I don't think you can make a leap of science. So you have to wait for the science. And you could be waiting a very long time. So there we are. Or do you have what you can see, remembering that the things that are seen are transient and the things that are unseen are eternal? Aha! There you are now, you see. So there's a lot of ways of looking at this. Scottie, have you noticed there's a lot more in the news about the SNP May elections? They are going overboard. Well, no, you can never have too much good news. I mean, I was watching a news channel yesterday. I'd watched the Scottish Parliament sitting. And, there was some excellent exchanges from the First Minister. And they didn't initially in this particular news channel report on the First Minister first. They said that she had been criticised and showed another member of Parliament speaking. And I thought, that's not the way to do news, because that's not actually what happened in the first instance. So it's very, very interesting, the editing that goes on with news channels. Watch it yourself and actually see it, and then watch it being reported and tell me what you think. Don't mention the channels, of course. We don't want to embarrass them. So there we are. What I don't get, Scottie, is in Britain, church and state is closely aligned than it is in America. And yet there are more atheists in the UK than there are in the US. Americans believe in angels. Yes, there's J-Dog. Dinky-Doo, Scottie. Lovely to have you with us, J-Dog. Hi, Scottie. How are you, my friend? Jerry boy. Lovely to have you with us. Well, it's very interesting. You're saying that America has got these atheists and what have you, but the American Constitution, in God we trust. Yeah. In God we trust. You'll see that on the dollar bill. And of course I've seen it in shops. In God we trust, the rest pay cash. So there we are. Scottie, lovely to have you with us, Jerry boy. Dinky-Doo, I say. So yes, we're saying that the church is more aligned with the state than it is in America, but America are big, big believers in God. And yesterday, so much of the inauguration ceremony included prayers and asking God for guidance for the new president. So very, very interesting. It's very much alive, I say. Scottie, I'm an atheist, but I believe that the universe is energy, and we pass on our energy. It's a part of that. God, to me, is a process of creation, not a man in a cloud. Your thoughts? Well, Kareem, I have to agree with you. I don't think God is a man in a cloud at all. They say God made man in his own image. But I think, God, you could have good, orderly discipline. If you're running the world properly, good must always triumph over evil. All right? Good must always triumph over evil. And if you look at that, if you write down good over evil, and then you take away one of the O's, what do you get? And then if you shove a D in front of evil, what do you get? There we are. There's a little bit of parsing for you. Bias with mainstream media is rife. It has been for years. Yes, Nicola, you're 100% correct. Very strange. I mean, I remember the very, very big one that the row was about. And I was watching the First Minister of Scotland at the time giving a very good interview. And then the journalist said, I asked the First Minister and he didn't answer. And I thought, whoa, that's not true. So that sort of thing, I think I couldn't live with myself as a journalist if I wasn't reporting the truth. Right? So it's not even what slant do you put on it, it's what actually happened. There we go. And of course, you know, there should be huge responsibility. With freedom comes responsibility. And the media should take huge responsibility. So when they put their light out at night, they say, at least we told the people the truth. But this was very obvious yesterday. A news organization, as I say, I shan't see which one it was, and I watched the session in Parliament, and then I watched the reporting, and it was definitely skewed. There's no doubt about that. So there you go. At the inauguration, the new president does say, "So help me God." But there is no Church of America, which he is head of. The Queen is the head of the Church of England. Yes, but of course, the Church of England was a hybrid. I mean, high Anglican service is really virtually the Mass. You know, it was just, of course, started by the monarch for the purposes of adultery, actually, at the time. Jerry Boy, I grew up listening to you on all the radio stations you were with. Wonderful, Jerry Boy. I thank you. I hope you're not too shocked when you see my visage, you know, that sort of idea, because obviously I do have a good face for the radio. Scottie, how can we win over the haters towards the monarchy? I believe they play an important process within an independent Scotland and a member of Europe. Absolutely. You see, Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, Albert of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, from Bavaria, and wonderful, wonderful man. Such a pity he didn't live to a great age. You know, he died at 42. Very, very hard-working man, Queen Victoria's husband, but a great man. And he wanted a united Europe in those days, but united by the crowned heads. You see? United by the crowned heads. And but a similar idea to the one that very sadly we've just left for no reason at all. Unless you're a billionaire, when you may benefit from not having people prying into your affairs. So there we are. I think we have to educate people, Kareem. Education, education, education. You know, they say if you've got a house for sale and it's in a good location, then it's worth a premium. But education, 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 and explaining how the state works, making it quite clear that the monarchy doesn't cost us. So that's the important thing. No, not at all, Scottie. You're my favorite talk presenter. Jerry Boy, that is so kind of you. Thank you. I really appreciate that, because, as I say, I haven't been on television a lot recently because I'm not a cook. You see, I'm a talk show presenter, and what they call talk radio at the moment in this country, in the United Kingdom, tends to be reflecting the establishment and what have you, whereas I want to talk to the people. That's what it's about, because they are the important ones. They are the chosen ones. It's all very well hearing the elite saying we've got this big person and that big person and this important person coming up, but how many of the people have we got phoning in to get their opinion? And as you know, I don't put up with nonsense, you know. So there we are. Don't forget, America wouldn't have Presbyterianism if it wasn't for Scotland. Well, Robert Scrimger, Scotland is very powerful in America. You know, I mean, this is the whole thing. Like Ireland, it's one of the originators. And some people really were forced to go to America and to Canada, to North America, you know, that sort of thing. And they belong in Scotland. They belong in the UK. 56p a year out of my tax go towards them. The amount of money they generate for tourism in the 7 houses of residence are so important. for the local economy. We need to build on this. Yes, we do. You're absolutely right, Kareem. And of course, the monarchy is virtually a Scottish institution. The Queen's own mother was 100% Scots. The Queen herself is 50% Scots. Her sister was born in Scotland. You know, incredible stuff. So there we are. Wonderful. Scottie, what are you doing for buns night? Do you pour a whiskey sauce over your haggis? No, now, I was at a bun supper. Well, I've been at hundreds, probably. You could probably count it in hundreds of bun suppers over the last 50 years. And enjoyed them. I mean, wonderful, wonderful stuff. I don't partake of the crater now, of course, of the Uskaba, the water of life, as they say, Ushka. But, you know, so I don't partake of that, but I do still attend bun suppers, of course, post-COVID, pre-COVID and post-COVID. I do like my bun suppers, but I was once sitting to quite a senior guy who was a sort of Anglo-Scot, I think, and he poured his whiskey over his haggis. Very, very interesting. Okay, folks, what's the best way to cook your haggis? Well, it depends what it is. Jerry Boy says, oh, I do love haggis. Yes, I think haggis is, it's an interesting one. Liver, lungs, and heart minced up. Very, very tasty, though. A bit of spice. Get all that going. I'm not sure exactly what's in it, because I don't know exactly what is in it. But what they used to do, Kareem, I don't know if you'll remember this, you got it, and it was in a skin, and you boiled it. You boiled your haggis in the skin. Now you get it in plastic. So that sort of idea, but you boiled it. I think folk do it in the oven, don't they? And I remember one actually exploded. And we had haggis all over the place. Who's giving me money here? Somebody's tapped the dollar, guys. Thank you very much. I bet you it's Kareem, you know. I bet it is. Kareem, it is. I'm right. You're a very, very kind and generous man. Kareem has tapped the dollar and given McClue £1. £1 and a penny. It has come up here. Did you know, Scotty, Robert Burns may have had a form of bipolar disorder? Yes, he may have been a bit. Listen, Robert, a lot of people would have lived their lives, particularly in those days, but even up to more recently, people of sort of my parents' generation, and they would have gone undiagnosed for any of these spectral disorders. So there you are, you know, because there's so many of them. Autism and attention deficit disorder, that sort of idea on the spectrum. And people live their lives, professional lives, you know, everything, lawyers, doctors, the whole lot, perhaps undiagnosed. They may well have been bipolar, but Robert Burns, there's another interesting fact. There's so many interesting facts about Robert Burns. He wasn't just the humble Plewman lad. He had some very senior connections. So there you are, very senior connections. Wonderful stuff. And I'm sure where I lived in East Lothian, Mrs. Burns was buried there. I think his father is buried in Ayrshire, am I right? William Burns. And Robert was buried in Dumfriesshire. But there's the Burns Monument in Edinburgh. They buried him, and then they were ashamed with what they'd done. And they dug him up. They buried him in the Toon Heap in Dumfries. Oh, yes, it's very interesting. Liver, heart, and lungs of sheep's stomach, Scotty haggis. Yes, absolutely. You're quite right, Jerry Boy. And, of course, get yourselves onto this YouTube channel and look up Scottie McClue Burns Night. Don't miss that, and you'll hear me do all the Burns stuff. Scotty, have you been coping in lockdown? I've been feeling down, which is not me at all. I feel guilty because of selfish, because others have less than me. Weird times at the moment. No, Kareem, you are not responsible for all the troubles of the world at all. So do not take them on your shoulders. You're a man who is immensely aware of others. You live your life well. You put other people before yourself. You've done all these things. Do not feel selfish. Do not feel troubled. Yes? Let not your heart be troubled. That's Jesus' words. And I know you don't believe in a lot of that, but that was Jesus' words. Whether or not he was the Son of God, you will have to decide. But the man himself did exist, I can tell you. So there are, let not your heart be troubled. Yes, lockdown. Obviously, you have to busy yourself with interesting things. I'm blessed, Kareem, in that I read and read and read all the time. You know, I remember seeing, as I say, a university appointment called a reader. It's quite a senior appointment. I think it's a professorial role at university level. And I thought to myself, that's a job I would love, the reader. So you'd be spending your time, and I have done this. I've spent my time in some of the world's great libraries reading. You know, I've been in an amazing library at a very important place, and it was just myself in the library. It was wonderful, surrounded by all these books. Kareem, keep your chin up. It'll get better, my friend. Keep your chin up, Kareem, says the wonderful Susan Shaw. You're quite right, Susan. Yes, absolutely. Chin up, I say. Very, very important. Très important. And we all have to keep our chin up, but not too much news, Kareem. So maybe a wee look at it, because I notice what they're doing now. They're bringing in people who have just lost family from the virus. Some of these reports are very, very distressing. Now, there's nothing that you or I can do about that, apart from obey the rules, stay at home, you know, and do all that sort of stuff. So, very important that we do that. But don't watch too much of the news if it's all about the pandemic, because that is very debilitating. So a few minutes, and then say, yes, I know what's going on here, and then watch something else, you know, quite interesting. Switch over to a movie or something like that. I believe all holy people have a message and a purpose, basics of all religion. Try your best. Be a good person. Give back to your local community. Thanks, Scottie and others. Kareem, you are much loved on here. So there you are. So never a problem, you know. And it's a great privilege to know you, if you know what I mean, to know you in this environment. It's marvelous. The news is getting everyone down. It is, Susan, yes. And but I mean, that is the news. You know, they're reporting that, and they're quite right so to do. All I'm saying is ration your diet of news. So pick up the stories, because a lot of it's repeated anyway. If anybody's just joined us, can I just tell you, it's Scottie McClue. Because you'll be wondering, you think, who's the old guy with the beard and the bonnet? Giving it that, and you say, no, that is Scottie McClue. Absolutely. So there we are. So just letting you know that it's me. A-Fond Kiss and Now We Sever. Every time I hear A-Fond Kiss Scottie being played, I start to cry. It's emotional. Yes, it's A-Fond. Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it. So there we are. So what I would say is do ration yourself with the news. Watch a lot more of Scottie McClue on Scottie McClue's YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, for goodness sake, subscribe, because this will just grow and grow and grow. I know when you see it, you think, his numbers are even small, all that sort of stuff. Remember, I'll be going into my 30th year. You know, and that there's a huge future about to happen. We're going back on the radio, on the wireless. How's your dog, Scottie? My Doberman's recovered from her cut tendon. This is wonderful news, Kareem. I do think about her, and I send out love and blessings and strength and healing to her. I hope you liked the little one that I found on TikTok, the little collie. I thought that was rather good. Robert says, stay strong, Kareem. Opening up about things is a huge sign of strength. Well, of course, we're hearing a lot about mental illness. Obviously, a lot of people do suffer from perhaps even cabin fever, anxiety, things like that with all this pandemic going on and all the news of it. But remember that mental illness is not a sign of weakness. It's very often a sign of staying strong for far too long. Yes? So very important. So, let's all just keep each other buoyant, I say. That's the thing. So, yes, the dog is very, very well, Kareem. I told you he was 100 on Christmas Day, so he's gone into his 15th year and is the most incredible spirit, a beautiful, beautiful spirit, and, of course, puts up with me, so that makes him very special indeed. And the tail is still going good style, and, he's always around when there's a wee tit-bit on the go, a wee tit-bit. I'm just back with the dog, Scottie. What have I missed? Numpty Head. Well, Numpty Head, you miss a second of McClue, you miss a moment of life. You know what it's like. We have had a fantastic wee chat, in fact, 26 minutes worth. My goodness me. So you're just back in with the dog. That is great, Numpty Head. Yes, you're out for your exercise. Numpty Head's just joined us, Professor Numpty Head. Give him his proper title, I say. And Kareem very kindly tapped the $1. So there you are, Numpty Head, and sent McClue a quid. He is a very, very kind man. So lots to do from that. I'm asking the question tonight, do you believe that the Queen is appointed by God? Yes, so I'm just asking that out of interest, just throwing that out there. Obviously we haven't got the phones on the go, but once we get the phone in on the go, we'll get the chit-chat on the go. Very, very important. Remember to follow me at Twitter as well, at Scottie McClue. Write all these things down. Like this video, so give me a few likes. If you're up there, that would be fantastic. We could always do with a few likes. In fact, we haven't shared that we're on at all. What's going on, guys? Nobody's shared that we're on. Tut-tut-tuttity-tut. I say. Right. I'll do a wee bit of sharing there. Just a wee minute. Just a wee minute. Just give me a minute. Did you ever do that? Did you ever meet people that do that, or do you do that yourself? People are pestering the life out of you for something, and could you just give me a minute? We love all that. Now, I'm just going to I haven't done any sharing at all, guys. So there we are. So do get the word out there, I say. Right, that's it. And I'll just say that we're live now. Usual stuff. Oh, yes. Usual stuff, live now. There we are. Let everybody know. Why not, I always say. What is the problem? That's another good one, isn't it? What's the problem here? What is the problem? Wonderful. Live now. Right. That's us. And away it goes. Good. Telling 10 to tell, 10 to tell, 10. Very important. Liked and shared. I thank you, Kareem. Scottie, does God appoint the Pope? Says Kareem, with pure white smoke. Well, no, the white smoke is put out when the Pope has been chosen by the College of Cardinals. But, in the Catholic Church, it's very clear that the Pope is God's representative on earth. So there you are. So I think the intercessor, whereas Presbyterians and Protestants have cut out the middleman and don't believe in an intercessor. you know, but it's very, very interesting. And of course, it's a very, very old church, the Church of St. Peter. There we are. Scottie, why are people moaning about the Queensferry crossing being closed? One of these icicles goes through your windscreen. Absolutely. Your brown bread. Robert Scrimger, they shouldn't be moaning at all. Think of the number of times that the Forth Road Bridge, built in 1964, was it opened in 65, I think, was that right? I remember going across it when it was opened. And I remember being taken out with a Sunday school to see it being built. So there we are, looking out at Queensferry there. That would be maybe 1963, 63, 64. And we saw it actually been built. It was wonderful. But, you know, it had to close for high winds and people would go Kincardine. There used to be a ferry service there. And I think we've talked about the ferries. You had the Robert the Bruce, the Queen Margaret, the William Wallace, what else did you have? Oh, there was another one. I think there were several wee ferries. So your day was quite long, and there were no motorways in Scotland when I was wee. So your day was quite long if you were travelling, say, from Edinburgh to Perth, and you've chosen to go via the Forth Ferry. So there we are. Fantastic. And, you know, you would get one of the wee ferries taking you across from South Queensferry to North Queensferry. Wonderful stuff. So the Queensferry crossing is a fabulous thing. I've been on it. Thoroughly and thoroughly appreciated. And, of course, we paid for it in Scotland. But there's a slight politicisation. Yes, so do be careful that somebody's not trying to politicize it, because Scotland did it itself. People say, oh, there's a fault when ice forms, the icicles could fall. Right, well, if that happens, close the bridge. You know, that's one of the little hazards about it. You know, you've got to be sensible. It's like somebody saying, I bought a boat and it said it's suitable for virtually all stuff. It can do coastal cruising, you know, and if you had that, you say, yes, but why did you go out in a Force 10 in it? Oh, you see, it's that sort of thing. You've got, everything has its limits. I think, Scottie, we're a nation excellent at complaining. That's all I seem to hear and see at the moment. Kareem, you're having a tough time. Yes, absolutely. People are moaning and whinging and complaining. Some people were brought up to do that. They've got chips on their shoulder. And I would say to everybody, and this doesn't include you, Kareem, you don't have chips on your shoulder. I would say to everybody, if you've got chips on your shoulder, the only person that's going to suffer from that is you. Yeah? Because other folk, as soon as you go, when you've had a good moan and a whinge, people go, what did you think of that, Ian? Thought they were never going to stop. They were going on and on and on about this, that, and the next thing. And, of course, that's the beauty of the Scottie McClue Nightline, because we can chat. We chat. We pick up the phone and we chat. Yes, and that's all coming back. 10 ton of fash, 2 ton of haddock made its way to Westminster early in the week. Numpty Head did it not just, you know, but they were warned down at Westminster that this would be happening, although somebody said that a lot of the Scottish fishermen had voted for Brexit. And, of course, the EU has never done any harm to our fisheries. What happened was they flogged off the licenses. Yes, anything that was held up as being the fault of the EU, you'll usually find it was domestic, because we had our sovereignty, we had our borders, we had the lot here. There was no reason to leave the EU. So there we are, unless, as I say, you're a billionaire. Good night, stay safe, Scottie. Susan Shaw, your good self. Good night, and stay safe, and have a lovely sleep. Enjoy every second of that. I say good night, and God bless you. There we are. The only bridge I've never been across in Scotland is the Erskine Bridge. I've even been on the only bridge across the Atlantic. I think it's near Oban. Yes, Easdale. It's at Easdale, the bridge across the Atlantic. And it just covers that wee bit of water there. It's an old bridge, the bridge across the Atlantic. Lovely, lovely stuff. Yes, just outside Oban. Scottie, I'm looking forward to your live chat on the phone again. I'll definitely try and get through first. Again, like on Nation Radio. Oh, you'll love this, Kareem. This is huge. This is the biggest thing I've ever tackled, and I've tackled some pretty big things. See, what people don't quite realise is Scottie McClue has been in virtually all the major markets of the UK and made millions of pounds for media companies. You know, Scottie, I just logged on. When's your phone in? Mega Chelsea. We're not sure yet. It's been held up because of COVID. But it will certainly be on the go. We're maybe looking at a month or two, something like that, till everything gets going. Commercially sensitive, of course, but it will be huge. Absolutely. Glad you've joined us. Welcome, welcome, Mega Chelsea. So there we are. Now, Kareem, Nation Radio, of course, was a superb phone-in and did very well, I hasten to add. But there we are. Love you, Scottie. Dinky-Doo, Mega Chelsea. Lovely to have you with us. Guys, do let us know if you're watching round the UK or if you're watching from abroad. Do let us know. We used to get quite a lot of viewers from Canada when I was popping up regularly during the last lockdown. Now, of course, I'm popping up. I tend to just pop up random. So we don't get the big numbers, but people do come and join us. And I like that. I'm just going to share this, in fact, and tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. And follow McClue on Facebook as well. We're very, very big on Facebook and on TikTok at Scottie McClue. Get onto the TikToks. I upload them to YouTube, of course, so you can get a look and you can see what is what. There we are. I'll just turn over today that we're live now. Live now. Very, very good. And people like a wee chat. You know, I think it's important that we do that. Live now. There we are. I mean, I've been absolutely maxed during this lockdown because I have got the day job to look after as well. And a lot of that's happening online. So just to let you know about that McClue is always fairly maxed, but I've always got time for you. That's the most important thing. Don't ever forget it. Right. Hello from Leith. Hello from Victoria, BC in Canada. Liam Witherow. Have I said it right, Liam? Is it Liam or Liam? Liam Witherow. What a lovely name. I used to know a lady called Witherow, and she was the most beautiful singer, gorgeous alto voice. So there we are. Scottie, do you think there'll now be a lot of positive changes in the USA, and will this have an impact on Scotland and our future back in Europe? Well, I do know that Uncle Joe, a real live nephew of my Uncle Joe, born on the 4th of July, that sort of thing, I do know that Uncle Joe's very keen on Europe, you see, and we were absolutely mad to come out of Europe. But people got a bit carried away. You see, they were all worshipping at the shrine of the Donald. And I thought this will all end in tears. You know, and it has ended in tears, T-I-E-R-S. But I thought this will all end in tears. And, you know, why should we have come out of Europe? The madness, I say. Sounds like Liam. Yes, you got it right. Liam, thank you. And welcome from, wait a wee minute. Liam is in Victoria, in British Columbia. Excellent, Liam. I have a cousin in British Columbia. Fantastic. In Victoria, I think. So you might know my cousin. Fantastic. Now, who have we got here? Oh, my goodness me, Mega Chelsea. Wow. I thank you. Well, you know what they say. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So good stuff. Very pleased to hear that That is marvelous. And so, yes, the phone-in's coming back, just so that you know that. So tell everybody about that. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. And also remember, there's several Scottie McClue Facebook pages. Get on there as well and start building up here. Kareem says, hello from Glasgow, from Newton Mearns in Glasgow. Oh, Kareem. Very nice, very posh. So there we are. The problem, though, with modern fishing, Scotty, is demand is outstripping supply. Well, yes, but you see, for years and years and years, when they sold off the Scottish fishing licenses, and of course, a lot of towns lost their fleet. You look at the size of, well, starting away up north, there was a fishing fleet at Loch Inver, right up the north, Mallaig. You know, huge fishing at Mallaig. People used to do a lot of gutting and then go down to Hull. You know, that sort of thing. Hull, massive, massive fishing in the North Sea. Aberdeen, I remember attending the fish market at Aberdeen first thing in the morning. What a huge, huge market. Guys gutting fish and boats unloading, and the auctions going on. And then the big lorries loading up with fish, and off down then Arbroath, the Arbroath Smokies. You'd a fleet at Arbroath. You'd fishing boats at Stonehaven. I'm coming down the east coast here. You would have Leith. There would be fishing boats in the East Neuk of Fife, in there, all these wonderful places. Einster, fishing boats at Einster or Anstruther, as they say, and then down to Eyemouth, into Berwickshire, huge fishing fleets all the way down to Hull, and then over the west coast, as I say, Loch Inver, Stornoway, you would have a massive, massive fleet in there. Mallaig, as we said, Oban, huge fleet at Oban. Your Mull, of course, in at Tobermory there. Tarbert in Argyll, Ardrishig, Campbelltown, Carradale, all fleets, Inverness, you know. So huge, huge fishing fleets in Scotland, but they sold off the licenses. And away up north, you know, the Orkney and Shetland, get yourself in there, Lerwick, the boats in there, massive. So there we go. Lossiemouth, there's another one. There's a word to conjure with, the wonderful Lossiemouth. Huge fishing fleets there. Right, who have we got here, guys? Norway didn't join the EU part because as a member of EFTA, it didn't have to join the Common Fisheries Policy. Well, I understand, Robert. I mean, not everybody likes to share. But, you know, when you've got the clout, you see, the UK controlled 30% of the EU, along with our good friends and allies, Germany. We controlled 30% and sat at the top table. And for no reason at all, really, unless, as I say, you're a billionaire, we gave all that up. We sold ourselves down the river, if you'll pardon the pun. Not a very funny pun. Dinky-Doo from Sheffield, Scotty, says Nettie's 001. A Dinky-Doo, I was looking at Sheffield today. I was worrying about you, of course, with the flooding and things like that. And then the news was particularly depressing, so I switched over and saw Last at Summer Wine, and thought, South Yorkshire. Hello, everyone. There's Richard Upton, Dinky-Doo, Richard. Aha, late one. Hello, Scotty. A late one tonight, Richard, yes. But great chat, Richard. We've had fabulous chat tonight, I have to say. We really have had some wonderful chat. And I even forgot to share at the start. So the numbers aren't huge, but people will join us. You know, they'll come and watch. They always do. Wonderful stuff, right? We'll let that one go there. And I'll just say I'm live now, shall I? Does no harm. Live now. Right, there we are. That's it. I'm now, and I'm going to share this to the big Scottie McClue page. I've got a page with about over 6,000 of you on it. So you should join me there. It's great chat as well. You know, there's a few pages on the Facebook. Wonderful. I'll just send that through. There we are. So yes, late one tonight. Remember the EU introduced catch quotas to prevent overfishing. Well, this was the problem. There'd been overfishing. And this led to serious shortages in Scottish fishing ports. So the common fisheries policy caused a lot of problems as well. Yes, it did. I mean, I used to be very anti all that side of the EU when I was broadcasting in the early days, because I felt that needed to be sorted. But Richard says, Brexit, yes, I think Europe has to ditch their parliaments, really, who are all following on with this COVID and sort of, no, I won't say about COVID. I'm not going to read that out, Richard. Europe's waking up to, no, I think we can't have that sort of language. It's not so good. Look at Poland and Italy, Scottie. What do you think about them? Well, Richard, you know, you can look at the whole thing, but collectively, you know, all the world trade, you know, we were operating with the World Trade Organization through Europe, and it gives you terrific power. You know, and I think President Biden is very aware of that, you know, and Scotland needs to unleash its power. It's been held back. Scotland's got its hands tied behind its back at the moment. Boy, I miss those late nights in Balkan DM. What's that one? Telling people they did too many pies. Yes, that is. Balkan DM. I think that's maybe the predictive text has got a hold of you there. Fantastic. It's got a deal about the Brexit trade agreement proposal from Nick of I don't know what that is. Don't know what's going on there. Don't understand that way. I can't stand Biden. He'll ruin America. I sort of like Trump. Richard, yes, but you've got to look at the evidence. It's great liking somebody, the old populist thing. Way! Look at the evidence. That's what I say. Austria, says Richard. Yes, what about Austria? I think it makes more sense for the UK to be separate than the other countries. The increased distance between representatives and voters made people feel like they weren't represented. Yeah, but Liam, they were represented. That's the whole thing. And all these people were elected. We elected our MEPs, and they were there to represent us. Sorry, I don't have my reading glasses on, buddy. Sorry, not at all, Netties. Don't worry, I know what it's like. I am at a stage I take my glasses off to read now. Very strange. No, we don't need to have a reading glasses. I'll just have another sip of the Earl Grey. And Liam says, also, I love hearing your opinion on things. Yes, well, it is an opinion, but it's always based on fact, Liam. Big businesses will just leave the UK and set up in different countries. They won't put up with Brexit. I think that's right, Richard. I mean, already I noticed that the Channel ports that had these huge queues, they're going quiet because Ireland are setting up new ferry services avoiding the UK. They're just going to body swerve us. And you can see why. Scottie, I'll say good night. Thank you for tonight. Have a good day tomorrow. Kareem, same to you, dear self. Look after yourself. Please do not worry. There's two things we never do on Scottie McClue's live streams. We don't worry and we don't stress. Okay? Have we got that? And I'll say night-night to you. And bless you, Kareem. Numpty, what time did the Chinaman go to the dentist? What's Richard at? So there we are. Did you hear about the teeth who argued? Says Professor Numpty. They fell out. Who's given me a US dollar? So there we are. Somebody has tapped the dollar. 230, 230, 230, 230. We like that. Yes, 230. I remember going into the dentist and I met a chap coming out and I said, hello, how are you? I said, what have you been having, Daddy? Had all my teeth out the day. Had all my teeth out the day. I said, and what are you feeling about it? Oh, never again. Never again. Wonderful stuff, isn't it? I remember going to the dentist and he said, Scottie, your teeth are lovely, but your gums might have to come out. You know, we don't want that, do we? Dinny ken. You dinny ken umpty telling you. It's all that stuff. Thank you, Scottie, says Liam. Not at all, Liam. Thank you. So there we are. Yes, I think we'll find that the big business will just head off somewhere else. You should be drinking Yorkshire tea, not that posh stuff, fella. Well, actually, Netties, it's funny you should say that because I'm about to let you into a wee secret. This isn't the Earl Grey. This is actually Yorkshire tea. So there you go. I had the Earl Grey earlier, and I thought I'll have a sip of the Earl Grey. But no, it's the Yorkshire tea. A fine, strong cup of tea. Keep me up all night. Have you heard of the dentist? Oh, no, I don't know. Richard, we don't mention these sort of things, actually. There we are. I've just got to get the ground rules out, Richard. No second names, no names of individuals, footballs, politics, religion, that sort of stuff. I mean, I can discuss it, but we tend not to go in for that too much. So there we are. Wonderful. Numpty Heed, we can't say that. There we are. It goes a treat. Sorry about that. Not at all, Richard. No. You're a top man. And it's just these are wee ground rules that any broadcaster, podcaster has to set, you know, so please do not give it a thought. I've sorted it. There we are. Wonderful stuff. You know, we've got to watch a bit of our P's and Q's nowadays. Very, very important. Très important, I say. Has everybody clicked like? I could do lots of likes there, guys. You'll see the wee thumbs up. Is it that way or that way? And you'll see that. Here we are. If you've just joined us, welcome, Scottie McClue. And I'm so glad we've got somebody watching in Canada. That is absolutely fantastic. Dinky-Doo from Canada. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening, mark my words. Lovely to have you with us. Welcome. What a joyful pop-up. I popped up just for 5 minutes, and I see I've been on for 52 minutes. My goodness me. Scottie, any career advice for my friend who's applied for 15 jobs during lockdown? He'll take anything. He's a joiner to trade. Now, Robert Scrimger, if he's a joiner, obviously he can't go in and out people's houses at the moment. But we've got to get him something to do. Robert, tell him to get on the dole. Yeah, but wait a minute, or be furloughed, or find out what's available. Look at all the possibilities. But having said that, if he knows somebody, because a lot of it nowadays, if you know somebody, you know, it does help. Even when I'm phoning a broadcast organization and everybody knows Scottie McClue. You know, everybody knows Scottie McClue. They all know Scottie McClue. But I never make that assumption when I'm phoning. I say, I'm not sure if you'll have heard the name. It's Scottie McClue. And usually you get a very positive response. But one or two radio bosses sometimes have been slow because they're music people. They think, oh, I couldn't cope with phoning. And it's so silly. And once there was a guy, and it was the director of programs said to the managing director, I'd quite like to have Scottie McClue on the station. And he went, over my dead body. Or that sort of reaction. The guy said, why do you react like that? He went, oh, him, how would you control it? And he said, what do you mean? What do you actually mean by that? He said, can he come in for a coffee? He said, oh, if he's in the state, I'll speak to him. I went out with a 2-year contract. It was wonderful. So, these are things. Half an hour or in. But if you know somebody, it helps, I don't like when people refer to COVID as a scam. No, neither do I. Too many people dying of it. I understand why he said that, but people need to be careful with how they complain about lockdowns, or else they appear unreasonable. Liam, you're absolutely 100%. There is absolutely no doubt we are in the throes of a pandemic. That is not to say that behind the scenes, certain people will not be, finding some sort of way that they can manipulate things. There's every possibility of that, but you cannot say, that it's anything but real. Richard says, started off, yeah, but wait a minute, Richard, that's not a scam. People dying is not a scam, All these people, I've lost a lot of friends through it, so there's no scam there. That's not to say that some people might not use the situation for their use. You see, that's the difference. So it doesn't matter where it started or how it started. The fact is it started and it spread, okay? And it's worldwide. So there you are. So Richard, you need to take these things away. You need to not be coming out with that, because somebody watching right now will be very, very distressed if they've lost a loved one through it. Richard says, maybe they heard you were working in Lancashire, Scottie, and you put on that argument between you and your boss live in the show. Yes, absolutely. Maybe they did. And of course, yes, we wiped the floor with the boss that night. Didn't do me any good, mind you. Never does. Didn't do him any good. There we go. That was a night and a half. It was overheard by accident because I'd left the microphone up and he'd phoned. I remember it. Liam says, disease is real. How fast it spreads is the concern. It can get out of hand like a dam breaking through, which is why governments are so concerned with hard action. Absolutely. Anyway, says Richard. That's right, Richard. Quite right. Tea. That Yorkshire tea is delicious. Everything that comes out of Yorkshire is good. McClue was the biggest thing in Yorkshire since the pudding. So there we are. You're quite right. Yes, very, very good, Liam. Absolutely. Liam, how has your weather been in Victoria in British Columbia? Do tell. We're very interested because this is what I love. I love the fact that people are watching across the world. It's excellent stuff. Okay, the numbers might not be huge, but if you are watching, though, make sure you've subscribed. Please subscribe. Scottie, see the floods have hit England. I saw that in Umpty Heath, and it's been happening. I knew it was going to be happening. I've had a lot of friends been telling me about it, and I'm keeping up to date. Weather, I love it, although other people have complained. What have you got, Liam, though? Have you got snow? Have you got wind? Have you got rain? Have you got ice? There's all these things. I remember talking to a colleague, a day job colleague, and I said about the weather. And he said, I love it, you see. He said, because I lived in Canada. He said, and I was quite used to walking in sub-zero temperatures, all wrapped up, with the old fur hat on and everything. It rains a lot. It's only snowed twice living in an island. It has its perks. It's been windy, but I think enjoyed it. Now, so Victoria, so you're on Vancouver, is that right? Am I correct? Central SK, the weather is horrible. So there we are. Yes, absolutely. I have wind. Numpty, we know you have wind. Absolutely. Victoria's on Vancouver Island. Yes, absolutely, Liam. You must forgive my ignorance, you see. I must come and see Canada. Numpty, I smelt it so something. Stop. Let's have a little bit of dignity. Now, that's me been an hour. Can you believe it? My goodness me. What is the time? Oh, it's after midnight. It's after the bewitching. So I'd better push off. Very quickly, the song. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, and a cheerio. Good night, my darlings. God bless, and we'll all catch up soon. Dinky-Doo.